nothing on me. All I want is sweet, sweet love, sweet, sweet love. I don't need a rich boy, I don't want dollars. No, you don't gotta be a high roller. All I want is sweet, sweet love, sweet, sweet love. I don't need a rich boy, I don't want dollars. No, you don't gotta be a high roller. All I want is sweet, sweet love, sweet, sweet
and as well as one of the administrators in group therapy by Yana on Facebook. So I think that, you know, everybody here is coming together to support Yana in this amazing vision. It literally just started with just like a tiny little girl. she's really cute and small, with just the most grand ideas that ended up coming to life in this amazing book that she compiled together. I don't think that any of you guys really truly realize what it has been like for her to run the book, to run the group, because, you know, over 10,000 women are members in this group, and it's very, very difficult to run, to moderate, to come up with ideas for the group. And then on top of that, to sift through all of these anonymous concerns that were submitted by real women, and maybe, you know, some men hiding.
I hope
so. Sift through all of the responses, sift through all of the actual questions, everything that was submitted to her email, and to compile this. It took countless hours, countless energy, countless time that has manifested itself into this amazing product. And yes, so, and it's beautiful. So here to introduce the, not the writer, but the compilator of this amazing work of art.
Thank you.
Yay!
So I didn't write a speech, but I had a few bullet points that I really wanted to discuss today. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who was here. I mean, it's Saturday night and you guys are here. You could have been doing anything else in the world, so I really, really, truly appreciate it. I want to thank everyone who supported my vision from day one. Literally, we used to meet up in coffee shops like, we have 100 girls, what are we going to do with them? Thank you to all my friends and my family, my mom, my dad, my friends. She's not here today, she lives in another state, who added the first 50 girls into the group that grew into what it is today. All the people that I met along the way, especially today, I met new faces, which I haven't met throughout this journey. And although we don't have all the group members of Group Therapy by Yana here, I want to thank them, because if it wasn't for their vulnerability and their bravery and just live my mission. So a little bit about how everything got started. About 3 years ago, I was going through my own journey with mental health issues. I talk about it a lot in my blogs, on my website, in my Instagram. I'm constantly talking about my own personal things and what I went through. If you want to read about it, www.bayana.com, shameless plug. And so when I was going through all that, I was looking for a community that I was able to look towards and gain the support that I really needed at that time. And this was before like Facebook was as cool as it is now. I'm telling you, Facebook got cooler. And there were no Facebook groups. It wasn't a thing yet. There were some forums, and it just wasn't doing it for me. I couldn't find anything specifically for mental health, and I couldn't find anything for posting anonymously, which is something that I really wanted to do because sometimes we feel uncomfortable, you know, spilling out our hearts to a bunch of strangers to get some advice. So when I saw that that wasn't something I couldn't find, I decided why not create it. It was really tough for me because my anxiety was at its peak at that time. So for me to kind of even start a new project was super anxiety provoking, but I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. And I'm going to do it with and from my heart. And so I'm really glad that I took that step. And thank you to everyone who added like all of their Facebook friend list, like I'm just you're a female, and made that group happen. What else did I want to say? So what happened with the book is I felt like I'm always feeling like I need to do something creative, and so I really wanted to not only be creative but also to provide the information that we've gathered in the group in a tangible version for other people. There are no men in Group Therapy by Anna, but there's men here today. So maybe if they're curious, they can open up the book and read some of the things that us women talk about, think about, go through. So I kind of wanted to make this book an extension of Group Therapy by Anna. Very useful. So this book in particular is a collection of 100 women's anonymous relationship questions and answers. And the reason why I picked relationships is because the age group of Group Therapy by Anna is 25 to 45, and in between that age group, a lot of women are either getting into a relationship, sometimes getting out of a relationship, trying to figure things out. So I kind of took the most popular topic and I compiled questions and answers. So on the right side of the book would be the question, a photo to kind of go with it, and then of course 3 answers that are kind of 3 different perspectives, so someone can get an idea if they might be going through the same thing. Let's see if I'm missing anything. Another thing is I like coffee table books, so I decided that I wanted mine to be one. You know, it's kind of fun. It's not really like a read. You won't sit down and read it from front to back, but if you're hanging out with your friends and you just want to open it up and like see what's going on. So it's one of those. So enjoy it, place them all over your house.
That's how you get to.
Give them out. So everything that, when I was going through the journey and I decided that I'm going to start this group and help other people, I decided and I promised and I committed that I'm going to be doing everything from the heart. So this is what all the group, the book, the vision, the mission, everything comes from the heart. And I really truly want to help people, and especially women. I mean, my first blog started with, at the very bottom of my Russian Brooklyn girl mentality, because I feel like in that community we kind of don't support each other, and I really wanted to be that person to bring everyone together and just be there for one another, because we're all going through something. And I've read Anonymous, and I've submitted Anonymouses, honestly, I'm just saying. But I read it Anonymous, and it connected with me, and I was like, I went through this too, and I kind of see the questions and answers, and it's really helpful. And I love when someone says to me, like, that was really helpful, and I'm so glad that I had this outlet. So the group, the book, the movement, everything is about helping women talk about anything that they might feel uncomfortable talking about. Also, because I do everything, like I said, from the bottom of my heart, I collaborated with a non-for-profit organization which Jessica, yes. The organization is called Ilona's Room, and 10% of all ticket sales here tonight and every book purchased until the end of time will go towards Ilona's Memory Fund. And so I want to invite Jessica. Thank you for listening to me, and I want to invite Jessica to talk a little bit about Ilona's Memory Fund.
Thank you. Fundraising for the Ilona Memory Fund. I'm going to read this. So the Ilona Memory Fund was founded in 2014 by Ilona's parents. Unfortunately, Ilona tragically passed away from complications from an eating disorder at the age of 35. She was very passionate about helping people with similar problems to her own. She was a psychologist herself, and she believed in the early intervention of eating disorders, and that recovery was possible. Our organization works to actualize her passion of helping others, and more specifically, getting the girls that are at risk of developing these issues. Through our events and in participation with other organizations like the JCH, where we have Ilona's Room, we educate the community about the tragic consequences of eating disorders that happen to individuals and their families, and we also provide support and resources to those in need or at risk. We're always looking to grow, so if anybody wants to collaborate with us, anybody has any ideas, my business cards are on the table, please come talk to me. I'd love to discuss anything with you guys. And just on behalf of the team at Ilona Memory Fund, I want to congratulate Yana on publishing her book.
Thank you.
And sincerely thank you for collaborating with us and working with us and putting all your hard work into our program and everything that you do. You're doing tremendous work, and I just hope you continue growing your empire. Congratulations.
Also, I'd like to mention that Ilona's Room is actually it's okay, right? I can talk about that, but I facilitate it? Okay. It's a group for young women ages 10 to 13 that I facilitate at the YJ, at the JCH. So if anyone knows a young girl that would like to be part of it, we work on self-esteem issues, anxiety, things, healthy eating, things like that. So we're working together directly, and it's awesome. So thank you so much.
Okay, so we have a few more speakers, some members from the group that will just come up and say a few words. So the first one up is Irina.
Hi everyone, my name is Irina, and I'm a member of Group Therapy by Yana, also a friend of Yana nowadays.
We met through the group.
Yes, we did. I just want to say a couple of things. First and foremost, I feel like Group Therapy by Yana has become a social movement, in the right direction, definitely. Getting women, young women and older women of all ages speaking and expressing their feelings about everyday life. Because it is really hard to kind of, sometimes go to your friends, you feel like you're getting judged from all different directions in whatever situation you might be in, and posting these anonymouses really helps you kind of see that the problems you're facing, everyone's facing the same problems, and I just wanted to say thank you for starting the group, and I think it's an amazing idea, and I know that it's going to be way bigger than what it is right now.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
So our next speaker is going to be Alex.
Actually, a member of Group Therapy by Yana as well.
Hello everyone. Alright, so I'm 31 years old, and on paper I have my shit together. I'm married, I own a house, I have a graduate degree, and a job that my mom can brag to her Russian friends about. Talking about all of that is easy. What's not easy to talk about is that 4 years of working full-time and going to business school part-time gave me chronic insomnia. Having a house in the suburbs feels isolating. My older sister has been in drug rehab for the past decade, and sometimes when my husband and I argued, I feared for the future of our marriage. I can keep going, but I think you guys get the point. This is the first time I've publicly announced any of this, and I'm comfortable doing so because I know most of you have read about my concerns in an anonymous post by Yana. Some of you have even given me advice that helps me move past the looping anxiety around these subjects. And I know I've done the same for some of you. Yana created a safe space for us to crowdsource advice. Maybe we're not all mental health professionals, but we're all going through something. Everyone has their own baggage. And this organization has allowed us to pour out our deepest fears, and if nothing else, know that we are heard, and that we're not all strange and unusual for feeling the way that we do. There's something really special about laughing with or being consoled by complete strangers. It makes the world seem a bit simpler, and not quite as complex as it seems in our own minds. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much for coming up here and speaking your heart out and being vulnerable, because that's what it's all about.
Okay.
And our last speaker is Anna. She's also a member of group therapy and one of Yana's oldest friends.
Second oldest.
I just want to start off by saying thank you, because you do more than you think you do. You should be really, really proud of yourself, because I feel like you're not sometimes.
I'm working on it.
You work on yourself every day, and I feel like and I feel like, I was there from like the beginning. So I remember when you first started this group, you told me to add everyone, and it's gonna be so good. And you had the idea, and like it grew to 10,000 girls, women, 11,000, sorry, women who are there to support each other and be there for one another, even though they're not really, there like ID-wise, but they're there for each other and one another, and everyone's going through the same thing. And I feel like you don't realize that what you do is even bigger than what it is. So you should be really, really proud of yourself. I love you. And I feel like you should keep going and don't stop, because you found your niche. You found something that you're good at, and everyone loves you for it, and everyone's here to support you. So don't stop.
I won't.
What you're
Can't
doing.
stop, won't stop.
Don't stop what you're doing. Keep working on yourself, and I love you.
Oh, yeah.
So now Yana's actually going
I
to
have to read.
read.
Thank you.
So, Mama, you want to make it tough?
Sure.
Come on in.
Wasn't planned, but hey.
Where are we going to
do my
start
best.
with?
I know Yana from the beginning. I know she used to have a lot of problems. I don't want to talk about this, but I'm so, nobody helps her. But I'm so proud that she, guys, can help you. She professionally give you help. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy right now. And I want to say thank you so much to come to support us, to support Yana. And I'm so appreciate that you appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I wish I had her public speaking skills.
I didn't go for the class.
I know.
So now Yana's going to do a little bit of a reading, because this is a book release party, so type of situation need to hear something like this and to know that realistically they're not alone. And actually, I don't know if any of you have ever noticed, but you are not alone is an acronym for Yana.
That's why.
Yeah.
So really, I was just born to kind of bring people together.
Yes, and to share her wisdom and knowledge. So just everybody take a quick listen. It's actually really informative.
So like Julie said,
Question 100.
it's actually all of them in the book, if you notice, are questions, and the last one is says PSA 100.
I took the picture.
Yes, Julie is the photographer. And when I got this anonymous concern, it actually made me tear, and I thought that it was super important to include in the group. And we get a lot of silly ones in the group, like, I'm not going to go there, but if you open up some of the pages, you'll see what I'm talking about. And they're fun to discuss and all that, but then you know, a few times a week we'll get something serious, which is like, okay, this is what the group is here for. So this one says, abuse comes in all different forms. It took me years to realize I was in an abusive relationship that started off nicely and ended with road rage, wall punching, being irrational, and verbally, mentally abusive. He would always revert to the man I fell in love with, but I knew this was not normal. I realized I needed to love myself, and I could not continue being trapped in the abuse that I feared would turn physical. I walked away, and that was the bravest and the best thing I have ever done for myself. I am confident that I am not alone. People like me think we finally found someone who treats us well. Little do we know that we are blinded. That person overpowers your life, controls you, isolates you, and suddenly you realize that anything you do will anger them. I tried so hard to please him because I was so in love with him and so confused by his anger. He would punch the walls near my face, grab the steering wheel from my hands, called me horrible names, only to come back crying with flowers and reaffirming his love for me. It was the hardest time of my life, and I didn't doubt his love for me then. I can only hope that other women don't get sucked into his toxic personality. Being in a support group has helped me to see that I am not alone in my struggles and that everyone deals with horrible situations. At the end of the day, it's important that we all support each other. And so what I would like to mention is that another important part of the group is that there is a list of mental health resources. And for example, at the end of this one, because it's about dating violence or domestic abuse, I'm not sure exactly, there's, in case of emergency, please call 911 and or the National Domestic Violence Hotline. And so throughout the book, you'll see maybe something about suicidal thoughts or something about mental health issues, and each one will have a resource that the person can reach out to and get some help. Yeah, and at the end we actually have I'll show you, a list of mental health resources that constantly get updated in the Anonymous Concern Instagram and also the anonymousconcern.com, which is coming. It's in the works. And of course my website, bayana.com. So yeah, that's a glimpse into the book. Who doesn't have a drink and would like one, grab one of these? Me. Anybody else?
I don't know whose glasses it is.
True?
Congratulations, Jana.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. Congrats.
So,
Sorry.
actually, I don't know if many of you know this, but Yana and I met in high school, and we used to cut school and go to her house, and she used to iron my hair with an actual like clothing iron.
Sorry.
That's probably why I don't have that much anymore. I have truly been honored to see Yana grow through all of this, because at one point she disappeared from high school, and as it turns out, she dropped out, and then we rekindled our friendship when we had a class together. And her, me, Artem, and a few other people used to hang out in Brooklyn College during lunch, and then that's kind of how we became friends again. And we always promised each other that after that semester, we would not stop being friends. And it's been like, almost 10 years later, and we're not just semester friends. I'm so proud of you. I can't believe that this is reality. Like I said before, I don't think that any of you have realized how difficult, how crazy this ride has been, and I'm so honored and grateful to have been around from day one. Calming her down and talking her off the cliff. Yes, sometimes literally. I am so proud of you, and I know that, like Anna said before, I know that this is going to get way bigger because your mind does not stop for a second. This tiny little head is filled with so many grand ideas that I don't think that anybody's ready for it, and I'm really excited to see where all of this is going to go. I love you.
Cheers,
So
guys.
cheers to Yana and this amazing
And everyone here.
book and everyone here.
Everyone who made all of this happen.
Yes, because it wouldn't be here without all of these amazing, wonderful women sharing their thoughts and ideas and being as vulnerable as you have been. Because I mean, like she said before, I have submitted anonymouses myself, so it really is helpful. Whether it's just like where your escape from daily life, or whether you really do have an issue, or you just kind of want to laugh, or get distracted for a little bit, the group is there. There are so many wonderful women who participate every single day in and out, and they're all unbelievable. And thank you all for sharing your vulnerability. Actually, Donna, in passing, Donna said that she found her doctor on there, so that's also really, really great. So
It is a big networking space also, if you're ever looking for somebody.
Or recommendations on something.
Yeah. Those are off topic.
I usually post those topics.
Again, thank you so much for being here. Just keep mingling, getting to know each other. We have some more time. So thank you so much for being here. Love everyone.